Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to anybody that is new here. So my name is Isa, and today we are starting a brand new series. We're talking about soul runes. It's a unique divination and magical system within crane practice. I'm going to be doing a series of videos specifically on soul runes, going into the basics, what we're covering today, what the soul runes are, what are the symbols, what are the meanings behind them, and some basic ways to start connecting and using them. Then in each other video, we're going to go deeper into them, how to really use them to their fullest potential for divination purposes, how to spellcraft with them, how to align them in your astrology work, and how to use them with other tools. So let's get started. Soul runes are a divination and magical practice tool within crane practice. As you can see, unlike some of our other divination that we're used to, like tarot, which is cards, these are dice. And they're specifically made to be in dice format. As we go through their sets and their meanings, this will make a little bit more sense to you. So first off, in a full soul rune set, you have two primary sets. One is for the soul, one is for the body. Each one contains different energies, different core energies, which contain different lessons and aspects for us to dive deeper into. They are split in soul and body in order to know which is the inner energy, the self energy, the us, and which is that outer energy, the action, the movement, the community, outside world, how we move in the outside world energy. It's one of the things I love about soul runes is that split and that divide, because too often I see people when, especially tarot, because I deal a lot in tarot, when they're reading tarot and they get a message, they almost automatically put it to their outside life. They put it towards events that are going on in their outside life, their outside world, which means, work and relationships outside of the self, all of these things. And they don't really consider that it may be for an internal message, something for the soul, for you, that, is a conflict that's going on within yourself, a tower moment that is happening within yourself, not in the world or in your life that you're living. So having that distinction, I think, helps make things a little bit more clear for people and gives them a different perspective to view these messages through. It also gives us a combination of why, so an energies around why something is happening, or the core issue or the core of the situation, the unseen aspects we're not seeing, and the how, the action, the movement because of the why, how we're going to attack the situation or move through the situation or bring about a situation, actions we can do. Viewing them from this way also gives us another layer. That is one thing that is key about crane practice, is there are a lot of layers. And as we go through the soul runes, you're going to see what that looks like. We're starting with base today, but then we're going to go into the different ways that it layers down, how to use them in different layers, how to spellcraft with the different layers it gives us. So as I said, the full rune set has 2 different primary sets within it. Then each set has 4 subsets. Each of the 4 subsets is represented by 1 dice. In each subset, there are 6 runes. Again, we're going to go over this slow. This is just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So we have 2 primary sets, 4 subsets in each primary, and then 6 runes in each subset. So we're going to start with the Soul Rune side, the Soul side, to show you what this looks like. So this is all of the Soul Runes that are on the Soul side. This is its primary set. And then each of these lines is a subset. So it represents 1 dice. 6 runes, 1 dice. So before we go into the names of each soul rune and its core energy, we need to talk about what that means, core energy. So on the surface, these can look very simplistic because the only guide that you have to them is the core energy, the center energy that is them. When you explore and get deeper into it, that energy holds all the dualities within that. So, for example, EMPA. EMPA is experience and exchange, or experience in exchange. So these are positive and negative experiences. It's really talking about the movement of exchange, the experience in that, and that is the core energy of this rune. How it shows up in your readings, how it shows up in the way that you're working with the runes is going to determine more details of what that means. Let's run through and talk about each of the runes quickly, and then we will do some demonstration to show how this works in some ways that you can get started with using soul runes. First up, we have the spark, the soul, the connection to divine. EMPA, experience, exchange, experience in the exchange. ISA, gained in the journey. ENTA, time, elements, adaptability. Tika, trust in yourself, measure, evaluate. Yaga, soul and body, be the tower. Hesi, hope and magic. Ifa, harmony, intuition, duality. So it's harmony and intuition in duality. Kani, starts, structures, impartial view. Da, gather the people, guide others. To, all the elements, accept your role. O, follow the heart, courage. Imka, conflict, the master of self. Walk together, collaboration. Eta, the exchange in duality. Poi, movement, growth, release. Je, voice and intellect, leadership. El, home, family, ancestral soul. Vol, master of voice, soul and magic. Che, the bridge. Wata, slow nurtured growth. Jata, seneschal, voice 4, leave a trail. Beck, concrete evaluation, victory, celebration, know the self. Exu, an end for a beginning. On the body side or physical world side, Akara, inspiration. Aman, bliss or to cherish. Alte, dualities. Exim, move deeper. Akun, legacy. Asi, success. Okara, time. Agui, invention. Odraco, wisdom. Otum, protection. Okor, vision. Odim, domination. Ekara, knowledge. Elu, rebirth. Equar, miracle. Exumus, breaking boundaries. Elbane, culmination. Ekor, space. Ankara, resources. You bind, challenge, or to stand in your fire, to stand firm. You rise. It's effort, but no fear. Until, return, a flowing. Utara, freedom. Ushar, love and trust. Like other runes, soul runes have a symbol, the rune, that represent it. It has a sound or a word, so its name. And then it has a core energy. Unlike other runes, its core energy, that's all there is. It is the core energy. What it looks like, how that core is being represented, how it's showing up in the reading, the deeper messages of it, aspects of its duality, aspects of, the parts of it is really going to depend on how it shows up in the reading, what your question was, what your situation is. What it's giving you is the core energy. It does require a little bit more than just pulling a card, reading a book, and you're done. You're going to have to look at all the energies and how they're aligned, how you're aligning them, depending on what kind of spread or movement you're working with within them. And see how those energies are coming together and what message it's telling you. Takes a little bit more, but it's also really great for sharpening your intuition, thinking deeper, getting in the habit of thinking deeper, seeing the unseen, the underlying energies, the core aspects, and how they can be represented in different ways for us and our magic and what we're doing. Like I said, I will link to a website that you can download all of the sheets that you're going to see. That way you can use them on your own. You can print them out or you can rewrite them however works for you. So there are a lot of different ways that we can use and work with the soul runes. Today, we're just going to start with some very basic divination techniques to get you started, to get you a little bit familiar and get you working with them. So we know that this represents body side. We know this represents the inner and soul side. So a simple divination, I ask a question, whether it's about a situation or something that I want to know. So how is this video going to be perceived? I roll my soul runes, and I roll my body runes. Now, there are a couple of ways that you could put these together. You could look at them just as how they lay, so I will be putting them together like this. Part of it was how they fell. Part of it was just, intuition of, put them in this alignment. So now I'm going to look at them. So I have 3 inners, outer, and inner, and outers. So, yada, seneschal, voice 4, leave a trail. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because these are from divine. J, voice and intellect, leadership. The spark, the soul, connection to divine. These are my first 3 inners, and it's stating why I'm doing this. Just exactly why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because these are the things that I'm guided to share by my divine, by my goddess. This is the information she wants out, and this is their work, both my goddess and my god. Alte, dualities. Equator, miracle or movement. So crane practice, a lot of it deals in dualities, not the separation, but seeing and understanding both sides of the dualities in order to see all the spaces and overlap and ways that they can be aligned together, both the opposites aligned in unity together for purpose. Oh, follow the heart and courage. And this does take courage. Anytime anybody's putting out anything and they're sharing their personal works, their personal tools, their personal practices, that takes a lot of courage, because people are mean and our community likes to fight about things. So yeah, I mean, it again, she have the courage. Oh, Draco, wisdom. It's what I've been given. It's the tools I've been using. These are things that have made a huge difference and have completely changed my practice for the better. And has given me a tool, especially these. They've given me a tool that isn't just divination, but can be used in so many ways, including full spell crafting and casting. I mean, it is a complete magical system in itself, and that is pretty amazing. And the last one is Ushar, love and trust. Have love and trust in the process. That's what I'm here doing. I'm having love and trust in the process, and I'm sharing with you. So again, I mean, I'm not really going into depth here, and it's just a quick way of looking how you could do this. Now, I could have also have rolled these, and then I could have put them together in their sets. So remember, we talked about they have subsets, 4 subsets, and each side has the 4 subsets. So I could put them together, and they're 4 subsets. So the fire aspect, spark of the soul, connection to divine, it's the spark of creation. And the dualities, because they are dualities. They're dualities, and each one has a duality within them. And it's the alignment of them together that is what creates with us. That's what we're co-creating with, is that energy. Oh, follow the heart, have courage. Follow the heart, follow the wisdom, trust in it. Je, voice and intellect, leadership. and the movement, the miracle, the forward movement, the change that comes from it. Yada. The seneschal, the voice, the leave a trail for, and love and trust. So this is my fire aspect. It's the creative kind of motion. This is the earth aspect. These are the things that roots me down in this. The air aspect, very much mind, voice, the action of movement. And then water, the core why of everything. You can also use these similar to how somebody may use Oracle. So for a monthly pull or a daily pull or a weekly pull, say, I want to know the energies that are going on around me today. So what are the energies around today for me? What are the energies that are at the forefront? I'm not going to use all of them. I'm going to close my eyes and feel in my hands, and then I will choose one, and then I'll roll that one. Same thing with these. You know, for me, my process is rolling it around until one feels right. And then I'm going to roll it. So the energies around me today and centering around me, internally it's poi. It's movement, growth, release, releasing this information and sharing my personal practice. The other side of that is okor. It's the vision. And my divine definitely has a vision, and so do I when it comes to sharing crane practice. We'll get to that at the end of the video, though. But in that, you know, you can see that poi it's my inward movement, it's my inward growth that is allowing for this to happen, and it's the outward vision, the outward movement of that vision in order to create. Like I said, we have a lot of depth to go when it comes to soul runes and ways to use soul runes in different aspects, you know, for divination, for astrological aspects and timing, for spell crafting and ritual creations and spell casting. So this is just a taste. It's to get you started. I did say I was going to talk about crafting. So I am always going to be the person that is going to advocate for making your own tools. I think this is important for the simple fact that when we make our own tools, when we're physically crafting our tools, we are imbuing so much of ourselves, our energy into that creation. And so it's a much deeper bond, I feel. So if you want to craft these on your own, like I said, they really need to be used in dice form. You could, you know, do the regular, the way everybody does with other runes and separate them all out and have each individual rune. But in that, you are going to have to keep them separate in their both primary sets and then in their subsets, because of the way that you use these, because of the way that we move with these. So it is easier and it's so much better overall if you just make the dice, okay? You can get a 50 count of these little wood blocks, you know, not these, but other little wood blocks that you could, you know, buy on Amazon or find in a craft store or someplace else online, really cheap. I mean, on Amazon it's like 50 for $10, I think. A craft store, I think I saw a set of 20 for like $15. Really kind of depends on where you're going, what you're looking for. But you just need regular little kid wooden blocks. It's just little wooden blocks. I burn mine. I like to do the wood burning and burn mine in, but you can draw them on with a pencil. You can draw them on with a pen. You can paint them. It's whatever fits for you, whatever you feel like doing and how you want to be creative in that space. When you're done, I highly suggest taking your body runes, so your body rune set, charge it in the sunlight. So sit it outside for an hour at midday, or let it stay out the whole entire day, or put it on a windowsill or someplace where it can get some light, and let it charge with the sun. Very physical world, very action oriented. For your soul runes, your inner, charge them with some moonlight. Get them in the moonlight, set them out overnight, or put them in a windowsill where it gets some moonlight. What time of moon section, whether you do new moon or full moon, or, whether you do sunset and midday or sunrise, it's really going to depend on you. Where do you feel drawn? What feels right to you, and what coincides with your own practices? Where do you see that you can see it as either a beginning or a growth of a beginning or an explosion of power? Really kind of depends on how you feel and how you want to move with that. I do realize that there are reasons why we may not make one of our tools, or we may not craft a tool for ourselves, and it's something we want to buy. I do have Soul Rune sets available on my website, in my shop, and I'll put the link below to them. But when I do these, I am crafting them specifically for the person that they are going to, the receiver. I am doing a magical setting and magical crafting with every single rune in every single dice for that specific person. So if you do buy them on my website, please note in the notations area on checkout, if you are not buying it for yourself, or you're using somebody else's card or anything like that, note the name in the comments of who is going to be the receiver of these, because that is who I am going to magically set them for. It can take up to 30 days because of how much craft time, energy, and magical ritual goes into each one of these. If you want to keep diving more into soul runes, if you want to learn different ways of using them and really getting into the depth and the real magic within them, then stick around. Hit the subscribe button below so you can stay informed and follow along. Hit the bell so you get notifications for it if you want to do that. I also have a book that is coming out later this year called The Crane Grimoire. And there is a whole section about the soul runes, different ways we use them in crane practice, things that we're going to be covering on these videos as well. But it gives you a written source. If you're one of those people that really like those kinds of written sources, it is Grimoire of the Crane. So it's going to have all of the contents within that, and some BOS sheets at the end that you can cut out of the book if you want to. So yeah, I hope this has got you interested, because soul runes are a fantastic tool. They are so fascinating, and there are so many ways to use them. So my suggestion, download the sheets or write them all out, whatever fits your fancy here, and then make your own set of soul runes. Or get a set of soul runes and start practicing with them. Start seeing how they work for you, what you see in them. Everything about crane practice, there are structures and tools, but they're to get you started. They're to give you a place to start your movement, start your exploration, and get used to the crafting with them. And then it's all about you. There is no limitation beside yourself. There are no limits here. There are so many ways that you can use these and do different aspects with them. So, yeah, I get creative, experiment with them, see what works for you. Next video, we are going to be going into spoken magic with these runes. We're also going to be looking a little bit at the astrology and how these runes equate to different constellations, colors, and planets. Thank you all for being here. I will see you next time.